Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite cash game plays for this Week 4 NFL DraftKings main slate. Let's dive right into it. And like we always do, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of my cheat sheet here, breaking down some of my favorite cash game plays for this Week 4 main slate. But don't forget, I am running that free Discord channel as well. You can see that mentioned above, where I'm going to be discussing this slate even further, especially on Sunday morning, talking about injury news and some plays that are popping up to me before game lock. If you want to join that Discord, there's a link to do so in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment below. With that being said, let's take a look here at the cheat sheet. We're going to start at the quarterback position. As I mentioned in my first look video earlier this week, I really like this game here between the Cardinals and Commanders. That has not changed here as of Friday. I think both Kyler and Jaden are offering some really nice cash value at their price. Guys who bring that rushing upside and safe floor when it comes to the quarterback position, but also have a really nice ceiling in this game as well. Commanders have a bottom 3 defense in the NFL. Kyler should eat them up. Even though Trey McBride is going to be missing this week, I still think he's a very viable play. And then Jane Daniels, he has looked legit through 3 weeks, played really well last week. We know he brings that rushing upside as well, but looked really good throwing the ball in week 3 as well. Now, Jalen Hurts here, I do like the matchup against the Buccaneers, but it sounds like Devontae Smith is not going to play here this week. A.J. Brown is practicing as of Friday, but I would be surprised if he plays, hence the reason Hurts is listed as an honorable mention. I would prefer to go with Kyler or Jaden here. Now, moving on to the running back position here, I will start by saying that I don't mind Saquon Barkley of the Eagles either, but landed on Breece Hall as my top-tier running back play this week. Love the opportunity he's been getting in this Jets offense, especially in the passing game, and I like that matchup at home against the Broncos. Jordan Mason burned a handful of us last week, but again, if we're looking for opportunity and volume in our cash lineups, he continues to get it in this 49ers offense. Plus, the 49ers are 10-point home favorites this week, and I really like that. And then Chuba Hubbard, speaking of opportunity, this guy saw a bunch of touches last week with Andy Dalton under center for the Carolina Panthers, and I suspect he's going to see a similar role here this week at a really good price of $5,700. But don't discount Brian Robinson Jr. here. Austin Eckler is not expected to play on Sunday, so he should see a few extra touches as well, and has looked pretty good through 3 weeks. And then Cam Akers probably would have been listed as one of my favorite cash game plays prior to me finding out that Joe Mixon is back at practice here on Friday, so we need to keep an eye on that. If Mixon does not play, I do like Akers at 5,300. Now, folks, before we dive into the wide receiver plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. I also run a YouTube golf channel with a few of my buddies as well, called Mulligan Masters, and we've put out some really good content here as of late, including a match against 2 Division I golfers. If you want to watch that video, I'll link it in a comment below. Alright, now diving into these wide receivers here, I think my favorite play on this slate, especially at the wide receiver position, is Nico Collins this week. He should feast against that Jaguars defense, who play a lot of man coverage. Nico has seen the most targets in this offense so far to start this season. He's got that big play potential, and the chemistry between him and CJ Stroud is clearly there. I like going back to Chris Godwin as well against that Philadelphia Eagles secondary. He's been a staple in this offense through 3 weeks. Deontay Johnson was the number 1 wide receiver, saw double-digit targets with Andy Dalton last week. Now Adam Thielen is on the IR. I gotta expect that he sees close to 10 targets again this week against Cincinnati. And then Mooney's looked really good here as a value play for the Atlanta Falcons, sitting at $4,400. He's had some good performances now in back-to-back weeks. But don't forget, we got some honorable mentions here. I went back and forth between Nico and Rashee Rice, but Nico, like I said, probably my favorite play here on this slate. And then Jonathan Mingo of the Carolina Panthers, being that Adam Thielen is now on the IR, he should run as wide receiver 3, really affordable there at $3,300. Now, speaking of cheap plays here in the $3K range, that's basically where I'm looking for tight ends this week. Not going to be spending up in my cash lineup. Gesicki here, the Bengals has looked fine through 3 weeks. Elijah Higgins will be the number 1 tight end in this Cardinals offense, with Trey McBride missing here in week 4, so I really like him at that price. Strange of the Jaguars, they're likely playing from behind in this game, so I like him at that price. Ingram is likely going to miss here in week 4 once again. And then if you're really looking to save some money, you could go with Tommy Tremble there of the Carolina Panthers. And then it's very rare that you'll see me spend up for a defense in my cash lineup, but boy, if I could get to the Jets this week at home against Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos, I would love to do that. I also like the Texans here. I think they bounce back after getting beat up by Minnesota last week. Good matchup there against Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. Trevor Lawrence really struggles under pressure. And then if we're looking to save some money here, I don't mind the Broncos at $2,500 playing the New York Jets. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great weekend here, folks, and let's win some money on this week 4 main slate.